Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? So excited. I am going to be using the magical Nordic tarot for y'all today. I'm really excited. I've been wanting this deck for the longest time, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to keep it on my wish list, and then if I have a spell where I feel like I'm in need of a new deck, I'm definitely going to go for it. And I was so nicely surprised because it really is big beefy deck, beautiful book. I'm really excited. So I'm going to be shuffling while I talk about our topic and your choices. So our topic is going to be, what epic is going to take place? What new, insightful, higher purpose activities are going to be coming in for you? What are your angels and guides going to bring for you? Some of the signs, messages you need to hear, all of that fun stuff, because these are topics that I am so connected to, and I'll share a little bit about what's taking place in each of these kind of avenues as well. So number one is push through any insecurity, first quarter moon in Cancer. Number two is think it through, and number three is know your worth. So in all of these, I have been having, deep thoughts. Something really unique happened to me this morning, and it really positioned me beautifully to receive messages and want to make a really nice read for you guys over here. And I was busily starting my morning, posting, connecting with everybody, and then all of a sudden my TV switched over from a read to this monk just sitting on a rock in this beautiful, peaceful music. And I'm not like a crier, because I'm usually, it has to be something super sentimental, but I mean, I don't just all of a sudden just start to cry. This music just touched me so much, because I was realizing, that I was holding a lot in. I was holding a lot of expectation and or maybe bottled up fear for the world and what's taking place. And that's when I realized I have to push through the insecurity of not feeling like I'm capable to initiate the change that I need. In terms of long-term, whatever, it can be long-term health. It just overwhelmed me. I was thinking of too much, and then I thought, this is the message, just think it through and let it go. And if you need to alleviate that pressure through crying or whatever, go for it. And also know your worth, that whatever you're doing is worthwhile. It doesn't matter if you're out digging in your yard, in your garden, you're picking up, that's some of the things that were overwhelming me. Is I have so many projects that I want to get going and do in my yard and beautify and have it ready for spring, and I just don't want to procrastinate. And it's one of those things let's just do this. So what we're going to do, you guys, is you are going to make your choice. And this can be, this is going to be whatever wants to come out. It's a brand new deck. I'm really excited. We're going to tap into all the magic that's here too. Love this, just cleansing the deck. So we're going to begin with number one, which is push through insecurities. Oh, I love this. They're so new. They have that that crispy, crunchy bit to them. Okay, so let's see what's taking place. This is number one. Ooh, Queen of Swords, power. And I'm going to also flip open the book too. These are more beautiful than I even thought. The Wheel of Fortune and Fate. Wow. And King of Swords, spontaneity. Aren't these beautiful? I was just I was picking my backdrop, and I was like, ooh, you know what? I think a pretty cool golds and blues. So I love this. I just feel like this is about, I want to look in really quickly to just see what they have in terms of Queen of Swords. I love to look at the books. But let me, while I'm doing that, just talk about what this initially means for you. This is so beautiful. You are stepping into your power. You are recognizing, I am gifted. I am a sweet, loving individual. But I do need to take it easy on myself and say, hey, you know what? Let go of doubts and fears. Oftentimes, our psyche, our triggered responses, our ego will try to diminish that natural power, which is confidence, and moving forward into thinking, oh, there are others that are so much more successful. This, that. It will always try to talk us out of a good idea. But now your plan is, no, thank you. I'm going to spontaneously. That's what I did this morning. I just was like, oh, the Nordic deck is here. I'm going to do the read. I feel really good about this. I feel like joyful things really take place during spontaneous activities, right? If we don't have to plan and plan, that's when we're let down, because we have these crazy expectations, right? Oh, I'm going to plan, this prom's going to be the best, this wedding's going to be the best. And we have these crazy expectations, and then when our reality doesn't exceed or meet that, we think it's a letdown. So spontaneous activity is really rich in that, hey, I'm happy I'm able to go for this walk on the beach. I'm happy I have gas in my car, whatever it is. But let's look at this, the Wheel of Fortune. Now that fate is turning in your favor, in your direction, it is reaching the tops of the trees, the top of the skyline, the top of the Wheel of Fortune that says, I can so have anything that I want, be whatever I want. I read this great thing over on IG this morning about a woman who said she was a lawyer, she was in this marriage, neither things were making her happy anymore, but it was really difficult to kind of give up that quote unquote lifestyle, you know, nice handbags, cars, all of that. And the gist of the matter was, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you're not following your soul path, you're not going to be happy. And I can attest to this 1,000% due to the fact when I think one of the times I was at my most like monetary wealthy was right after my mother passed away, and I inherited a good deal of money and property, but I was still figuring out, I was a young mother, and that is really hard to integrate into your life where your purpose is different. I had worked my whole life pretty much, and I loved getting up, going to places and doing things and seeing people, when all of a sudden it was just like me and my baby. And it was like, then you meet other moms, and it's weird because that can be a strange competitive world. Well, that being said, I could basically go anywhere, buy anything, and do anything, but I hadn't tapped into my soul's purpose yet. I hadn't really picked up my tarot decks. I hadn't really, you know, initiated what my soul calling is, which is, you know, channeling and, you know, bringing a little bit of happiness and optimism whenever I can, because I really am, you know, a conduit for joy. I love happy, silly things. I love humor. I love craziness, but I didn't know how to utilize it. I didn't know. I don't even know what YouTube was doing quite at that time. That was like 20 years ago. I don't even know if it existed, but you know what I mean? You are now stepping into your truly fated life. Ask yourself out loud, what do I absolutely love to do? And can I turn that into a revenue source? A lot of artists struggle with this because they think, well, if I just have fun and I love this so much, why would it make me a living? Like, it's a weird dichotomy. And I used to think that was my joy. I used to make tons of jewelry, give it away all the time, give it away. Like, literally, if I went to these little fairs, I would sell it for less than the cost of the beads because I like high quality stuff, like just crazy sort of things. But now you're recognizing, hey, my time is what is the worthy measure here. My time is what is worth this. You know, it's not the person that charges their $50 fee for a reading or whatever. It is the years that they've accrued to amass that knowledge, channeling, style, and all of that. It's that kind of thing. And again, we have to recognize that every single person on this planet has a gift, and yours is really going to start to awaken now and be knocking on your door and say, hey, this means also that things are going to present themselves beautifully to you and be like, hey, let's go do this. And you're going to find yourself saying yes more and more, spontaneity, and then beautiful things arising for you, whether it is meeting people while you're out for coffee with your friends, whatever it is. But you're going to have this beautiful, empowered state where you feel like, I am worthy of nice people. I am worthy of people inviting me places and my great ideas. I'm not going to doubt them. And I'm sure as heck not going to, I'm not going to compare myself to others, because that, I feel like comparison is like the death of feeling good about us and progression. So I just want to talk about the Queen of Swords in the book. It says the Queen of Swords is the queen of strength, smart, self-reliant, full of self-worth, and she knows exactly what she wants and relies on no one but herself to get it. That means it doesn't matter what other people are doing or saying about your life or your goals. You're the one that matters. Do you think if I told my parents years ago when there wasn't even a YouTube, you know what, I want to start a YouTube channel and I want to do my channeling and messages on that and do private reads, like, it would have seemed berserk. It would have seemed crazy, probably because I don't even think the internet was really even up and running at that point. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, we know our dreams, so why are we asking people that don't have our map directions? So outspoken, opinionated, and a great judge of character, she often represents a slightly guarded individual with a hard outer shell but softer center, who isn't afraid to speak her mind or state her ground with others. This card can also signify the need to stand up to those around you and establish healthier boundaries with others. I through a matter of years, learned to do that because I like to see people happy, but to the detriment of myself, I'd go out of my way to make sure family members had extra, which would mean less time, energy for me. So now, you know, it's like, I check my bandwidth and then a lot. So check your boundaries too. You don't need to answer that phone call. You don't need to answer that email, it's your time, especially on the weekend. Do what you want, do what you feel. I love that. So I feel like your overall message is you're going to undergo some cool change. You are going to really understand what empowers you and use those tools to do that. I have to do that sometimes. I know when I start my day with a daily pop or a read, I feel better. Once I start to channel and I let that energy in, immediately I feel better. So let in the energy that is healing and growth worthy and makes you feel good. Oh, I love that for you, Group 1. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos and your gorgeous comments. And if you guys need a private read, if you send your information, I get back to you with your read within 48 hours. So everything's right on the thumbnail. You can either email or DM me. Thank you guys too for all your wonderful feedback. So now we're going into number 2, you guys, which is think it through. Now, what this means to me is we all have hopes and dreams, and we all know what we want to do for an afternoon, what we want to do for a month, whatever, but really think it through. I do this when it comes to expenditures. If I'm in line and I see a gazillion like little things that they try to tempt you, I'm like, I think it through. I'm like, do I need this? How many fingernail polishes do I really need? How many whatever notebooks do I really need? Think it through in each step, because when we do that, we're super present-minded when we're thinking about what we should be thinking about. Then we are more logic-based in that I might want this money down the road for something else. And if I spend it all on all of these things, yes, I will have things, but I won't have money for experiences, going out to dinner, whatever it is. Also think it through. How will it affect you long term? Like if you're kind of procrastinating going to the gym or going for a walk, think it through long term. Don't you want to have flexibility and feel good? I feel like once you think about it and you think it in a good way, oh, this is really good. You have your boundaries, got a lot of boundaries in this one. Ooh. Nice. So some of you guys, I'm going to pull a clarifier. Yes, you're going to go from mental conflict and kind of impulsive behaviors to this. And this is why your guides want you to know we are only human. Now, we're always mentally conflicted if we wake up and our soul wants one thing, like our soul wants to go for a walk and be cleansed and forest bathe and have a good time, where maybe our ego mind is like, no, you can make money, go and whatever, promote yourself, blah, 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 blah. It's one of those things where it's like when we have mental conflict is often when we're not following our soul's path, when we're not doing exactly what we know is best. That could be setting up boundaries. And I feel like it is, because temperance is like, let's even this out. It's very, I will find internal and external harmony if I have healthy boundaries that say no to things that aren't healthy for me. Because this devil is like, hey, let's go do this, and let's say yes to this, and let's people please, and let's give. Or let's work in a little carousel thing of did that, done that, already know what that's about, but because it feels good, I'll just do the bare minimum in life. That kind of thing sometimes too, right? It can just be like eat too much TV, all of that. And just thinking those tumultuous thoughts that aren't necessary. But this is what is going to be taking place with this, the Empress. And I want to talk to you about what the Empress says in the book too, because it's so beautiful. And we do have to remind ourselves that we deserve self-care. We deserve healthy boundaries. We deserve to say no to the devil. And the devil is things that chain us that aren't necessarily healthy for us. Could be relationships that are anything mentally abusive, something of that, treating our bodies like garbage bags. And man, I'm so guilty of this. I love salt and sugar, and sometimes I just go nuts and I devour all this crap, and then I'm like, I don't feel good. We know. Internally, we know what we're doing is either good for us, mind, body, spirit, or it is not. And this Empress is going to help you pull through, and you are going to, in the next few weeks, your guides are going to help pinpoint you, and you're going to catch yourself. Because psychological fact, our mind is always trying to talk us out of good ideas. It's trying to make excuses to stop us. There's so many books written on this that our tricky ego self says, oh no, it's too cold to go for a walk. Oh no, you can't afford to buy that lavish present for someone. Oh no, you can't afford to, whatever it is. It's constantly trying to talk us out of good ideas that free us. But now you're going to be freed from this and be like, bye into hello. So in the book, this says, the Empress can symbolize the birth of anything from a new romance or business to a new job or an actual baby. New relationships and friendships can both be expected. So while your desire to create through writing, drawing, painting, and music could also be heightened at this time, really roll with it, go with it, because I always feel better when I just let a creative bent do its thing. I feel super elevated from that, going with that. It could also be a chance for larger property. That said, this card can also represent a literal pregnancy. So if you're hoping to start a family, now is the time. You know, in Nordic folklore, it was said that seeing the northern lights could ease the pain of childbirth. That's pretty cool because, yeah, I love this little magical Nordic tarot. So I'm just feeling the whole overarching message for you is you're done with that painful cycle of beating yourself up and being very meticulous and overbearing on yourself, and also not letting people do that too. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries is your key word. For you to have harmony, you kind of have to say no, negate other people's problems, difficulties, or whatever it is, so they don't offload on you. So I always picture it like two wheelbarrows. Like your wheelbarrows are equal and you're going down the street with a friend. All of a sudden she's like, oh, let me just give you one of my rocks. It's getting a little heavy. Let me give you another. And pretty soon your wheelbarrow is completely full with their garbage, emotional or otherwise. And they're trotting along their happy way. So say no to off emotional dumpers. You know, we recognize right away it's somebody that hits us with, oh, this happened and that, everything tragic, everything, you know, like just super dramatic. Just say no to it and sustain that interior calm, because that's what you're up for. You're up for, I feel like, a lot of prosperity, great ideas, and wealth are trying to show up, all this abundance. But you just got to get rid of all the kind of clingers and hangers on, whether it's outdated or outmoded ways that you exist. It could be anything, you know, again, not hydrating, little things that deter you from optimal health. And lots of times it's emotional health, right? We're just like, oh, we'll listen to this person, and then they just tell you every tragic thing that's ever happened, and you're like, no, thank you. So you're really going to get a handle on this so you can be here and then have that, which I love. So that's you, group 2, beautiful energy. Yeah, and I feel definitely your guides and angels know that you have been through it, that you have just been through the ringer emotionally and trying to do what's necessary for it. You know what it is? I feel like, and my family used to hit me with this when I was really distracted or tired. They'd hit me up for something like, hey, can I have this? Can I have that? Because they'd see that I was like, when I'm really tired, I just, I don't think things through. So also know your cycles. Know when you're tired or depleted, and don't deal with people who might want to relinquish you of your resources, right? There could be family members that want to borrow money, whatever it is, you know. People know they can be manipulative, and you no longer are going to be susceptible to that, which I love, group 2. So that's you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. And at the end of this, I'll do a quick flip through because these cards are amazing. So you guys, now we're on to group 3. And again, group 2, if you want a reading, all my information is right on the front of this thumbnail. You can email me, or you can DM me on IG, and I get your reading back to you within 48 hours. I send you the menu, have a little brief chat. All right, oh, nice. I want to get a thing on your 5 of. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles, that can be, your guides want you to know your monetary restrictions or problems are going to be alleviated very, very soon. Have courage. You know, sometimes we have to work with less, and some, you know, I feel like whatever budget we're given in the world, we can literally just spend that, right? If I have $1, I can spend it. If I have $100, so on and so forth. But your lack mentality, and if you think and constantly worry about money and paying things and bills and going into long term, there becomes blockages, there becomes fear, because everything gets overclouded with fear, impatience, and doubt. And those are low vibrations. So instead you're going to go, yes, there will be a way. I will either be gifted this will be alleviated. I don't know whether through government, through lawsuits, through my hard work, whatever it is, this financial kind of standstill will be alleviated very soon. And here's why. You're going to come up with some amazing and miraculous ideas when it comes to business and creating prosperity in your life. Now is just a time where, you know, you're initializing this change. You're recognizing. So many people think if they go outside that box, outside corporate, go outside places, that it's going to be detrimental. In most capacities, when we're following our soul path and we really put our love and time and effort in it, it far exceeds our wages, daily wages, that we make anything in corporate, because it's a different side. Once you really respect and honor your time, you get paid accordingly. You're not like, I'm not some robot. It's one of those things where like if somebody works at just as a barista or whatever, and they don't treat their employees necessarily well because they think they're easily replaceable. Oh, there's lots of teenagers, 20s, retirees that will come do this. And recognize if you're being honored in your job, and if not, is there something that you love so much more that you could be doing? And you can just start that as a writing. You can start that as a side, as a sidebar to gain your momentum. I always feel like part-time jobs too are fun because then you're not, so dedicated to them, but you can go in and have some fun income, maybe insurance coverage, but you are going to have absolutely amazing ideas that are like kapow. So if any of you guys want to be published in anything, I feel like now is a great time. Start writing, start devising a plan, really great creative endeavors. When it comes to this, the Hermit says, so sometimes we need to remove ourselves far from the maddening crowd and other people and their opinions to really garner what matters. Like I was saying this morning, that monk that came up on my TV with that beautiful music, I just started to cry because it was like all this pent up ideas and things I wanted to do. I had to realize, I'm not letting myself down because I can't do it all at once. There's still plans and I'm still doing them. I have a big arc of things I want to do, but I can't like get down on myself because I can't make the yard gorgeous in one day or have the house totally spring cleaned in one day. All of that, it's like step into your power, and our natural wisdom guides us to this, where we have courage to say yes to the things that are going to help us, lift us, bring us new income, bring us new friends, bring us kindred and karmic rewards. All of that is really taking place, and I feel like we have to sometimes just trust in that. We have to trust in our ability to be able to do this. I'm pretty sure, I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure the Queen of Swords came in the first reading as well. So I feel like it's about honesty, sternness, balance, and strength. Yeah, the Queen of Swords is really the Queen of Strength, smart, self-reliant, self-worth. She knows exactly what she wants, and she doesn't have to rely on other people because she knows her journey is going to sustain enthusiasm. It's going to bring in new ideas and rich and resplendent experiences in life. Like I sometimes, when I have no expectations and I just go out in my backyard, I will see the most gorgeous birds. I will see the most wonderful interactions with cats and animals, and we have these crazy woodchucks, and sometimes the turkeys just make a little cluckaloo through my back door. I'm like, cluckaloo to you too, because I always have food out there for every kind of animal on the planet. But that sort of thing where I then have the courage to utilize all this beauty and magic and formulate ideas and step out of the norm. And that's something you're going to do to a beautiful extreme. Just drop all the dead wood and step into this fresh kind of brisk energy where you're like, now I can work and do. And a lot of that I'm also hearing, just get rid of the clutter. If you have excess stuff that you're not wearing or using, just donate, get rid of it, and create more space and a healthy void for other things as well, for new resources for yourself. But I love this. A little bit of courage goes a long way. Saying no to people that don't deserve to hear yes, that sort of thing, and taking time for yourself so you can really plug into what is your next step and what matters to you and what is going to formulate a healthy doable schedule as well, because sometimes we just try to jam everything in there. Like today, I knew it was like, I want to really organize everything, but I was like, just start with your room and just start with this little area, and then you can commence from there. So keeping things, on a plausible scale for yourself as well. So I love that energy for you, Group 3. Beautiful energy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. Really helps me with the algorithm gods over here. Thank you guys for your beautiful comments, and I just love doing this. And what I'm going to do while I'm talking is I'm going to have a quick flip through of this. The pentacles are just pentacles, but I love just the simplicity of each of these. See what I mean? And I remember Gregory talking about this. I'm just going to forego anything that is. This is one of my favorite cards, the Emperor card. I love owls. I love the quiet, earthy tones in this. The Lovers is really cute. At first, I was like adverse to this because I thought, it's too simplistic. But then I was like, you know what? Like, that tends to be some of my favorite decks. It really, really does. I like when I can just connect to what the card is. And sometimes there's beautiful symbology, but it's not too crazy. Cups, I love it with fish. Look, it's just so simple and beautiful. And again, the swords is just all swords. But I like the pages. And it really does remind me of the old Nordic storybooks. It has the beautiful, and the tower's neat too. But I like the fact that it has one simple word at the bottom. It's amazing, right? Really cool. So I just want to give you a quick flip through of that to show you some of them. Let me see if I got any more. Yeah, just, I feel like they're cool, icy blues and greens. Amazing. Rabbits, symbology. Yeah, this deck, home run. I love it. And the book is really wonderful too. It gives a great interpretation of each card as well. So, and I think, again, some of these were just ridiculously inexpensive, like it's $17, and it comes in an amazing box. So, so awesome. So you guys, that was the Magical Nordic Tarot. So that is your reading. So I'm going to go upload. Love and light, you guys.